What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome back. Just me today. That's a lie. It's me and Roxy and Kristian. No Brett today. Why? Because Brett is prepping for New York. That's right. He's getting ready for New York. We're going to be there tomorrow. If you aren't there or watching the live stream, it means that you do not like us. It means that you hate our guts and that you wish that we would live in Antarctica. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Anyway, a lot to talk about today. We have Gal Gadot. Is she coming back as Wonder Woman? Is she not? What's the deal with the DCU? What is the deal? And why is the Flash bombing as hard as it is? It's bombing hard. It's a big disappointment. Having a massive drop off in its second week, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, so far they're predicting it to be like Green Lantern bad drop. That's not good, considering that I like the movie. Indiana Jones, Roxy saw it. I'll talk about it. I saw it too. Secret Invasion. Did you watch that yet? Okay, we'll talk Secret Invasion. Emily Blunt. She bluntly said that she's coming back, or she'd come back to Edge of Tomorrow, too.
Good one.
Oh, your microphone's... Wait. Oh, good. Did you like that one?
Good one, Kristian. It was a good one.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, right? Let me do that again. So, Emily Blunt bluntly said, thank you, that she would not come back unless it was a good script for Edge of Tomorrow, too. I like that. I thought that was a good moment. Yeah, and then, I have to talk to Roxy about this Yellowstone thing. Pretty crazy. Costner's gone for sure, and Tyler Sheridan was talking about it. So that and more on today's show, and obviously have some TV picks and talking about this Titanic expedition thing. I hope you find these people. That and more. Talk about it all today on The Big Thing. So thanks for joining us. As I said, we're going to be in New York. Me, Mark, Corey, and Martin, double toasted. Brett Sheridan, Jen Sturger making a return to the family, and Kate Mulligan, all going to be in New York, and we hope that you guys will be with us too. If you're in the East Coast, you can be there at all. You should get there. And we also have live streaming available. Speaking of live stream available, Katie Sackhoff, man, she just announced she's going to be at Comic-Con weekend, July 22nd. We'll be there producing that show. We're going to record a podcast at the American Comedy Company from 4 o'clock to 6 p.m. This is a really cool thing. I don't even think Roxy knows the full extent of this yet, but it's going to be, Katie is going to be there. We're going to have a special guest, and then after we leave, you join the live stream, you can actually ride in the car with Katie on her phone, and it's a Q&A. She'll have a conversation with you. Certain people can join into the stream, and that is available at katie.com. So make sure you check that out. Don't forget about our comic book dropping on June 1st. Yep, it's in the past. But in the future, it'll be available on July 1st. And then you want to see Roxanne Stryer, you can see her in Shoes and Beef, also July 1st on the website, thekristianharloff.com. All right, that's enough plugs for now. Let's get to it. I'm ready. You're ready. Cool. Bubbly orange cream, that's what I'm drinking now. So is Roxy, that's what we're drinking now. How you like that orange cream soda?
So good.
Right?
It's
Was I lying to you?
so good. No.
You want another one, don't you?
It tastes like a popsicle.
It does.
It's so good.
I know, it's really good. Refreshing.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
one day we're going to find out these shits were real bad for
Well, that's
us.
what they did with LaCroix. Remember LaCroix?
Yeah.
They said there was a cockroach stuff in it. I also had a LaCroix recently, and it was pretty delicious still. I got to be honest with you.
I don't get it.
You don't get what?
The premise of it being 0 calories,
Yeah.
but with natural flavor.
Yeah.
So what?
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Totally.
That's it. How are you?
I feel like it's been longer than a week.
I know.
Has it been? No, right?
No, you were here last week.
Yeah, I don't know.
We talked about things.
Kind of miss you.
Oh, I missed you too. It's
It's been a long week.
Well, it's been an interesting week for me because, like I said, I've been kind of on my own here, and I didn't. You said to me before, you're like, well, you could have called me to hang out. I didn't hang out with anybody. I was here. I've been working because normally what I'll do is I come in here, I work until 5:30, get a text, the meatloaf is done, come in, kids need you, blah blah blah.
The meatloaf.
Yeah, I come in. And that's it. And the whole time in my head, I'm like, I have so much more I can be doing right now. So when the family was gone, last night I worked until like midnight. I took a break to walk the dog. Took a break to, eat, watch a little news, and then.
That's what I do every day, Kristian.
Yeah,
Solo dolo. I just work all day, every day. That's it. That's the whole life.
Well, I needed to do it because like I said, we had that announcement that we dropped, I guess, yesterday at the time this is airing, with Katie. So we're pumped about it because, yeah.
I think I might be in Comic-Con.
You're going to be there?
I think so.
You got to come to the show.
Well, like, what are you doing at Comic-Con? Are you going for one day?
I'm going to be there. I'm going to get there on either Wednesday night or Thursday because I'll probably do Ellis's show that on Thursday. I'm going to be hanging out with Smets. So I'm going to go. If I get a badge, I think somebody has a badge for me to walk the floor. I don't really give a shit, to be honest. Go hang out, maybe go to some of the things at night, and then Saturday, probably leave Sunday morning, probably stay for the whole weekend.
Damn.
Do the reactions and stuff from... although, I don't know if there will be reactions. Maybe for trailers if they have something, but you heard Marvel's not going.
Yeah.
They're not going anymore.
I know.
I wonder, because that's part of impending strike, part of delays. Did you hear about that? What did you think about when you heard that yesterday?
I was not shocked. I had a
Yeah.
couple of friends through the grapevine kind of sneak to me that this was coming via Marvel. But also, yes, I think a lot of this has to do with union stuff. Yes, I think a lot of it has to do with like being respectful. But also, I think that putting these events on is... You really want to know what you're doing. And I don't know that they know what their plan is fully yet.
I think you're exactly right. I think because of the delays, I
Yeah.
think because of casting, I think because of all of these things, they're just like, again, let's not go. There's a strike.
We don't know yet. What are we even announcing?
We don't know what's happening. But you know who's licking their chops is DC.
Yeah,
They gotta
if
be.
they know what they're doing.
I think that they do. I think that we're close. At the very least, they could just have a Superman panel. At the very least, if the strike doesn't happen.
I mean, we very well could get Superman and Lois casting as well as Batman
Yeah, you're
casting.
right. You're right.
We could.
You're right. Jensen Ackles that's how you pronounce his name, right? Jensen Ackles.
Ackles, I
Ackles,
think, right?
not
Yeah.
ankles, and ankles. Jensen, I should probably know that.
Yours sounds like shoes and beef.
Shoes and ankles.
Jensen ankles.
Yeah, no, I should actually probably know that. But anyway, it's yeah, I could see that happening for sure because
That'd be huge.
Muschietti coming out there and doing.
And we might get
some-
Joker 2 panel. We might get Gaga. Like they could do some stuff.
Gaga singing there would be massive.
Insane.
Yeah, if that's what I mean by they're licking their chops because they'll be Marvel has been the king of Hall H for years. Now Marvel is going to have a presence at Comic-Con on the floor, but they won't have a presence at Hall H.
Aquaman 2. We need a trailer. This movie's coming out this year. We haven't seen one trailer.
I don't have high hopes for that movie.
Yeah, but don't you feel like
Of course.
that's what they should do?
Of course.
But I'm with you. They might stay away from it because they might just be like, we're just...
Let the ship run into the ground.
But that's Crazy Town USA. And then Blue Beetle coming out in August.
Well, yeah, but the Blue Beetle will probably definitely show something for it because James Gunn has said this is a DCU movie.
And no, DCU character.
Right. Which is... So is it else? It's so confusing. It's so
But this
confusing.
is a DCU character.
Yeah, so I'll probably have to give a brief. You guys can fast forward. I'll put time codes on it, but I have to go a little spoilers into Flash here to explain some of this too.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Flash, you can click on the next story in a second here. But all right, you've been warned. Cool. So the post-credit scene in the Flash,
Aquaman one.
yes, at the end, the Aquaman, that kind of explains that it seems like it could that the Aquaman movie could be an Elseworlds movie.
Why do you feel like that? So I have to re-see this post-credit scene in order to feel that. I've heard so many different people say this confirmed that they are back in the universe that they were in. People saying this confirms that in every universe, Jason Momoa is Aquaman.
That's what it was confirmed. That's why it's Elseworlds because of that. That was confirmed. He says to him, basically, everywhere I went, there's a different Batman, but everywhere I went, you were the same Aquaman.
But how come when he looked for Aquaman, it wasn't him?
He just didn't exist there.
Right. So.
Well, he didn't exist, but when he did exist, it was Jason Momoa. Is what he was saying.
So are you thinking that Momoa's going to be Aquaman moving forward?
He's going to be Aquaman and potentially Lobo too, but he can.
What?
If they set up this DCU,
You think he's going to be Aquaman and Lobo at the same time?
I'm just saying that this makes it possible. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but I think it makes it possible because it's basically saying that this is who he looks like. I think it's too freaking confusing. But what it does now is, Flash 2 ain't happening. We know that the movie has. They'd be silly to do it. no matter, it would be stubborn for them to do it. And this comes from somebody, we both like the movie.
Yeah.
It'd be very stubborn for them to do a second movie. The movie is doing poorly. It's not doing well. People do not support Ezra Miller. And those who don't know who the hell they are don't give a crap because there's no star appeal anyway. And
when you're saying Elseworlds, are you not meaning Elseworlds? Are you meaning alternate universes?
no,
kind
I
of
mean, like the Elseworlds movies are basically,
the Swamp Thing movie. You're saying that,
but so the Joker is an Elseworlds movie.
but you're saying Aquaman is an Elseworlds movie?
It would have to be now. It's not going to collect. It's not going to connect to DCU unless it's a new. I mean, unless because he is Aquaman in every.
Right,
they could connect it to the DCU. That's what I mean. That because they said it's so stupid and confusing, but like that was their fix. It's like saying, okay, well, because so basically, if the movie bombs and it eats a pile of shit, and they go, we're done with this. It's an Elseworlds movie. If it crushes and it continues, like, well, no, that's part of our DCU now.
I don't know. I think that here's what I want versus here's what I think that they're doing. Unfortunately, in my dream of dream worlds, at this point, we completely cut every single person and we move forward with all new people.
Yeah, that's what they should have done in the first place.
Because that's the clearest thing to do. And the problem with keeping Momoa or keeping the Peacemaker cast, including Amanda Waller, Harley Quinn, the Suicide Squad people, it just feels like playing favorites in a way that's really uncomfortable.
100%.
And you can't just be like, oh, yeah, we cut Ezra because we cut everybody. Now, like, you're dealing with all of the drama around everything.
Right.
We can't just say we cut Amber Heard because we cut everybody. Like, there's been a lot of drama going on.
For sure.
So I wish that they kind of would just be like, the thing that makes me feel excited about them not doing that is people like Sasha Kaye, who I would like to see as Supergirl again, because that sucks that you get to be Supergirl and then it's just for this one thing. But I don't know. I think you're right that I don't think they're doing a clean cut. I think that Gunn doesn't want to let go of any of the Peacemaker people.
He already said that that's the next project after.
Totally.
Which I agree with you as much as I love Peacemaker.
Me too.
Love it.
Yeah, you liked Peacemaker even better than you liked The Boys.
No, I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen The Boys yet.
Didn't you rank the last season of Peacemaker one higher than The Boys?
Than the last season of The Boys. Last season of The Boys.
Right, that's what I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like, that's how much you like Peacemaker.
Yeah, the overall, but it's not fair. There's 3 seasons as compared to 1. But overall, I like The Boys better. But yes, for that season, I love that. And I love what's his face, Freddie Stroma in that show is just next level. They all are great. But yeah, but even saying that, it's very similar to what you just said. If you're going to do a reboot and you're going to start fresh, then start fresh.
Right.
Take your second. You're 100% right. It is playing favorites. And I understand why. He loves the show. He loves doing it. It's another gig for his wife to work. And she's good, by the way. I don't think it's just people keep giving her shit because, it's James Gunn's wife.
Good.
She's in everything. She's a very good actress.
She's the least of our worries.
Yeah, 100%. But I just think that they should, I was saying this from the get-go. If you're going to get rid of Cavill and you're going to just say, look, I couldn't agree with you more. This is it. We're starting fresh. We're getting a new Superman. We're getting new Batman.
It feels wrong to keep Momoa and not Cavill. That feels weird to me.
I agree. Yeah.
But that seems like what they're doing.
But they're trying to explain it in a different way. And it's like, and look, there could be a to James Gunn, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but I could see where he was like, well, to me, I like this kind of cool Aquaman, and I think that fits into what we want to do. But the Superman that Zack Snyder set up, that kind of dark Superman, and Henry Cavill's kind of tied to that. I want to go younger. I want to do something else. And I could see where the conversation would be had. But I agree. I've been saying it forever. It's like, if you're going to make that call, cut them all.
On DC Movie News, the reunion that you stopped by for, Daddy Kristian putting the panel together, all the guys believe that we're not seeing a single member of the Justice League again, like the OG Justice League, the actors after Aquaman. They
so
think
not even Momoa,
right?
Not even coming back to be as Lobo.
Maybe as Lobo, but
not coming back as cast in their character. I mean, I don't think that's a crazy bet. Someone said
not crazy, but that would mean that that's not our Aquaman then,
right?
I mean, we're recasting.
Yeah,
so.
that means I think you should.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's why I think that it's the same thing as they were kind of like tiptoeing around and not saying anything as the Flash was coming out, because if you say definitively new Flash after this is over, then it would have done less money than it did.
They need to cut Barry Allen. they need to go with Wally West. They need to not have another. If they are about to reboot The Flash, we've had so much Barry Allen recently, and there's just going to be too much comparison.
I would like to see. I think Barry Allen was more in tune to what he was in the comics in the TV show than he was in the movie.
Definitely.
So I only think we've really only seen him once. You know
I
what
guess,
I mean?
unless you watched 9 seasons of a TV show like I did.
Well, that's what I mean. You saw, but right. So you were just you saw it for so long for nine
nine
seasons.
years.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but not everybody has, right? Like I think
And
I've
The
seen
Flash-
6 episodes.
The Flash now, but like it might not be your Flash, your version of Barry Allen, but we still saw him.
We still saw him, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying from what was like if you looked at if Peter Parker was more like Miles Morales,
Right.
But they said that's Peter Parker, but he had more characteristics and make a mixture of the both. And I'm not going to pretend that I know a lot about Wally West. I don't, but from what listening to Coy and listening to Winston and listening to Mike Kalinowski, that Ezra's version was almost like Wally and Barry combined.
I could see that.
Yeah, so, right.
That's interesting, but not really because Wally West is not annoying.
Right. And then there's a choice.
Yeah.
Well, I think, look.
I don't mean it like that. I just mean like genuinely
eccentric.
Yeah, he's kind of cool. Like
Right.
Kid Flash kind of like cool and yeah.
So I just
He's
think
more
that,
of a vibe to him than Barry does.
I think that the way that they eased
this.
into introducing people to Miles Morales, which they did, I think, wonderfully in the Spider-Verse movies, that we're going to get him in a live action movie, and I think because of it, it's going to benefit that you kind of eased into it and you played the long game on it. I think that's how you'd have to do that with Wally West, because if you just throw him in there, you'd have a lot of explaining to do, right? But
Not if we're rebooting everybody and he's just
true.
our Flash.
I mean, yeah, they're not wrong, but it's interesting nonetheless. And then speaking of which, Gal Gadot was also asked, because there was like a thing that came out the other day where they first had asked her, says, "You're not coming back. Doesn't seem like she's coming back." And then she said, behind the scenes, they are talking about it. It is so weird and so bizarre, like all of it. Like I love when she shows up. I love when she showed up in Shazam 2. I loved when she showed up in The Flash. I love when she shows up.
Me too.
But same thing. Find a new Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Let's recast. I mean, we had 1,000 different Batmen. We've had 1,000 different James Bonds. We've had so many different people play different characters. Let's move on. That universe. You definitively said we're not doing it anymore.
Right.
Move on.
You know something crazy that Mike told me on DC, and I was like, what? Do you know that Ben Affleck has been in the most movies as Batman of any Batman? How crazy is
I
that?
guess that makes sense, right? Let's
But
say
he's never had a Batman movie.
right. Well, Bale's been in 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael Keaton's been in 3. So let's see. Clooney, Val Kilmer. Yeah, I guess that makes complete sense because you have Batman v Superman. Do you count the Snyder Cut as 2?
No, but you could.
Yeah, Justice League. So whatever. Flash. What's the other one he was in?
Wasn't he in, was it Suicide Squad?
He showed up in the Suicide
Yeah.
Squad for like a second. That's true. Yeah. Right. So it's a 4. So you
Yeah.
got-
If you're not counting Justice League, Snyder Cut is
Yeah.
a different movie.
I mean, they are different movies.
I know.
They are significantly different movies. So
Yeah.
you could, but that's 4 or 5. Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's just bizarre, and
Yeah.
he was never in his own standalone Batman
No.
movie.
I will tell you what's very interesting also.
What?
Skillshare. Have you heard of them?
No.
I'm going to tell you all about them. Hold on 1 minute. Hey guys, before we keep going, I wanted to tell you guys about our sponsor today, Skillshare. I have learned a lot about Skillshare, and there's so many different classes inside of Skillshare itself. But what I really found fascinating, and I think that a lot of people here could use, are the stuff that they do for YouTube. You can browse around, you can be creative, you can do all of that, but I get questions all the time about how to start a YouTube channel, how the algorithm works, how to present yourself on camera. Skillshare has all of it, and they have all those different classes, and it's very, very helpful. Now, it's not only just YouTube. They have writing classes, they have film classes, they have so many different things that you can do, and you do it on your own time, which is amazing. But the reason I'm really talking about the YouTube ones is because of all the questions that I normally get, plus I'm learning all of the time. YouTube's changing all of the time. And so it's been helpful to me, whether it's, again, learning different things and how to make videos in 2023 and how things change. I mean, I'm always learning. So when I'm trying to figure out algorithms, thumbnails, presentation on videos, equipment maybe to use. They have, look at all these classes right here. There's just a ton of stuff. That's just a little sample of it. But as I said, there's other things that you can do as well, whether it's film, photography, all of it. It's perfect for everybody who watches this channel because that's, I would assume, your interest, hence why you watch this channel in the first place. They teach you a lot of tricks. There's a lot of things that you can learn. There's a lot of people who have a lot of experience inside of this thing, whether it's the YouTube side of the thing, whether it's making videos for Instagram, all of it, social media, film, television, writing. Skillshare has it all. So browse around today. All right, check out the iCard or the link in the description. And for the first 1,000 subscribers that sign up, you're going to get 1 month free of Skillshare. Now, this is for everybody who's ever asked, like, how do I get the YouTube channel started? What do I do to really get my my profile up and all that? Skillshare's got it. So check it out. All right, let's get back to the video. So as I said, and I think Skillshare is it's like these bunch of classes that you can take in like online classes, but they have like a whole section on YouTube. How many questions do you get? How did you start on YouTube? How are you able to do that?
Oh my God, everybody.
And I said it inside of that thing. It was just like I was looking through it. It's like they tell you, and like it's geared for like it's like some videos still are trying to teach you how YouTube worked like 10 years ago. This is like algorithm, thumbnails, this, that. It's like, and they said, do you want to do something with Skillshare? I was like 100%.
That's
like,
dope.
That's something that I want. Like, and again, the first 1,000 people who sign up, they get a big they get it free for a month. Yeah, it's like you're ready to sign up.
Don't tell anybody about it.
No, don't. I know, like, you want to do it before I make it live. Before I make it live, I'm telling. It's awesome. Writing classes,
That's
directing,
amazing.
photography. It's great. Like there was not like a no-brainer. I was like, yes, absolutely. As I told you guys a million times over, I only take sponsors on this show that I think people are gonna love. And the second they said, "How about Skillshare?" I was like, yes, I know them. Let's do it. Anyway, so we do have some other things to talk about. You saw Indiana Jones last night, Rox. So, or was it, or 2 nights ago, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
What did you think?
People are asking me to do because I don't review things anymore, except for on my social, really, or like sometimes when Rotten Tomatoes will call me in, or you and I are talking about something. People say to me, you like everything. No. I only make videos for the things I like because I don't really feel like making videos for things that I'm mediocre about or don't like because I don't have to.
Critic,
I'm not a critic. So I haven't done a video for this one. A lot of people are asking my opinion on it. I'm thinking about putting one out because to me, this movie was mid.
Okay.
It was.
That's what the kids say. The mid?
It was mid. It was okay. Yeah. It was not bad. It was definitely not great.
It was fun.
There was times that I thought it was very fun.
It slowed down in the middle.
And then there were times that I was like, this is a 2-hour, 36-minute movie that feels like a 3-hour movie.
Wow.
To me.
Yeah, it slowed down for sure. And I've been having this conversation. I had this conversation again yesterday with a visual effects person that still couldn't give me an answer on it. And I feel like the only person I'm going to get an answer from on this is Jon Favreau. I don't understand why they keep using de-aging. Stop it. Use deepfake or use nothing. Stop using de-aging.
Do you think he looked awful?
It wasn't that he looked awful. It's just it's so freaking noticeable when they're standing still, like Michael Douglas does in Ant-Man, which looks great. Or he moves around a little bit.
When they're moving.
But like when you're moving around that much, it's like
there's a lot of movement.
There were times that it was like sometimes like when he was just sitting down, like, oh yeah, that's bad. And there's other times like, oh, that's not real. That's not real. That's not real. And I'm like, I don't want to think that right now. I want to watch the scene because the opening scene feels, again, we're not going to do spoilers, but it just feels like an Indiana Jones movie,
totally.
For sure.
Despite agreeing with what you're saying, I was super in for the first little bit. I was like, ooh. Like,
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you hit a middle point where I was like, I don't do this often. I looked down to see what time it was, and I was like, oh my God, we're 1 hour in?
Yeah.
I would have sworn we were 2 hours in right now.
Yeah.
Like, it just... And
it dragged a little bit. It's true.
That's not great. I think that Indy and... what's Phoebe's character's name?
His goddaughter.
Yeah. Whatever the character's name is. I thought that they were awesome.
They had good chemistry.
Really good chemistry, really fun. What did you think of the young lad?
I thought he was fine, but I thought he became a gimmick after a little bit.
Yeah, totally. And so there were parts where it was like, dun, 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 and I was like, yeah. And then there were parts where I was like, oh my gosh, like why didn't you cut this whole sequence?
It was
Like,
long. There was some, and I wasn't crazy about the ending. Like
like
not
what
the, not
she-
not no, not the main ending. Like the there's a very emotional ending that I loved, but the
Oh, okay.
just the idea of what kind of happens. And the way
I thought that was interesting
Yeah.
too. I thought that was interesting too. You know, like without giving any spoilers, it's very hard in these movies that are often really grounded at times,
Yeah.
and then like so not grounded at other times.
To be fair, though,
No, that's
every
all
Indiana
indie,
Jones
right?
movie,
So,
right?
so that is the theme of this, which I think maybe worked better at one point than it does today.
Yeah, yeah. I think well, to me, it's just execution. I think there's something like there were times that really worked that felt like an Indiana Jones movie, and this movie is 1,000 times better than Crystal Skull in my opinion.
Yeah, because it's definitely watchable.
Because it feels like an Indiana Jones movie. It more so than it's just like again. Is it on par with 1 and 3? It isn't. But I enjoyed watching it. I had a fun time watching it. I agree with everything you're saying. I like there was a point where I was just like, let's go, let's go. And then a lot of people.
And why aren't we going?
Right, and it's just I think that they're because you know what I think the problem was when the other movies are exploring the mystery of it all. It's clever, and it's like, oh, you need to get to this part and this part and this part, like the mystery and figuring out the puzzle pieces. I think the mystery and the puzzle pieces weren't as intriguing.
Right.
So by the time you're like, oh, okay.
Right, like
Right.
you genuinely could have cut this because it wasn't
As intriguing as you want it to be. Yeah. So, but I mean, but it is a worthwhile watch in the theater though. Like it's a movie to go see in the theater. Like,
yeah,
a summer
yeah.
movie.
If you're gonna see it, that's
you're
the way
gonna
to
see
see
it,
it.
yeah.
I think also, I love Mads. I think that
Yeah.
he's great, but
Cliche villain.
just like be more.
Right.
Like really, other than knowing, I think that it's easy when you know people are Nazis to just be like, oh, so those are the bad guys.
Right.
But like, I kind of have to see you do some bad guy stuff, like,
Right.
and like
Yeah.
be this menacing bad guy as opposed to just relying on the fact that I know you're bad because what you're wearing, you know?
Yeah, you kind of had. I liked him, and I think it's less. I don't disagree that you know again a little bit more development inside of it. But again, with a 2-hour and 40-minute movie, adding any more, you'd probably be 3 hours. I will say that I didn't love his henchmen,
No.
but because there was the stuff that worked. That, like I said, the
very blonde guy.
the music. I didn't mind him. The big guy seemed very, and it wasn't his fault. It was just it was so cartoonish, and it felt like at times I'm like,
It wasn't any of their faults.
yeah,
All
no,
the
but
actors
like
are good.
sometimes I'm going, okay, like you hear those thuds and the music kicks in, the John Williams. I'm like, oh, the chase scenes were awesome, and it was like very Indiana Jones. And then you get into this kind of goofy, like, hey, get over here, and you're like, no, don't do that. And it seemed like so not
It
mangled.
felt like while you're on the ride, like VO that you would hear
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
like,
it was just it just
get
it felt,
back here.
It didn't have that
What?
like because for Indiana Jones both 1 and 3 almost had like a horror feel at points too, like the ending of the movie and like some certain things that happen, like not the movie itself, but like moments felt like creepy, and the way that Spielberg would shoot it, and I feel a little bit that was lost, and it was way more of a popcorn adventure. Which I think that if you're looking, people are going to be pissed, oh, I don't want that from Indiana Jones, and I think that's fair. But I would rather have that than that just like kind of like, I remember being a Crystal Skull going, get me out of here. I don't want to watch this movie anymore. I never felt that way with this movie. I liked watching it.
There's no mid or post credit scenes, so
No.
just feel free to bounce because
When
those
it's
are
over.
long credits.
Yeah, they are. But
I
unless
sat
you want to hear
through
the
it
John
all.
Williams music,
Yeah,
which we had the
that's
privilege
cool.
of seeing. This is so mad about this. So they announced, Spielberg's up there and he announces, he's like, I'm like, oh, they're gonna do it. And the curtain rises and John Williams is there with the whole orchestra and everything too. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And he played like 4 songs from the Indiana Jones, the new one. And he played the new theme for Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but everything. And then he ends it with the Indy. And I taped the whole thing. And my arm was super sore, but I'm like, I've got this whole thing.
You forgot to hit record.
I recorded it.
Oh.
I put the whole and I was like, I'm going to put this whole thing up on the channel the way that I did for D23. And I go to upload it, and then the movie starts, so I had to stop. So I go to look at my phone when the movie's over, and the
Never went through.
the introduction of Spielberg and everybody else, that's all there, but those 2 clips Didn't record. Just white box. It says 17 minutes or 18 minutes, however long it was, but nothing. Just nothing. And then I was like, oh, okay,
When
great.
technology fails us, it is the
At
most
that moment,
frustrating. It's like
the worst. The worst. I'll tell you what doesn't fail you, though, Roxy. Athletic Greens. I'm going to tell you about Athletic Greens and Rumpl. Athletic Greens and Rumpl have been doing wonders for people. I got tagged today. Someone on Twitter bought a whole bunch of stuff on Rumpl, and they're going to love it. They're going to tell me that. That's the next follow-up. Let me tell you about both Athletic Greens and Rumpl right now. Our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it every day. I love it. And I gave it a try, honestly, because Brett Sheridan told me to. And I'm glad that he did because it's so good. I love it. It tastes good, too. And I'm not a big vitamin person. I know that. You know that at this point. But to take them all in one shot, put it in a water bottle, shake it up, that's it. I drink AG1 before my coffee. And I take it. It gives me a little boost of energy. And then I'm ready to go. And it makes me feel unstoppable. I am ready for the day. I love it. It's really great because I'm telling you, it was very hard for me. Everyone's like, you got to take this vitamin, you got to take that, you got to do supplements. No, thank you. Give me one. Everything. One shot, done. And it tastes good. Might look green, hence AG1. Tastes yummy. I'm always looking for life upgrades, which is why I've come to love and trust AG1. That's why so many of you trust AG1. That's why I get notes all the time. You guys are trying it. Just did it. Love it. Re-upped. Doing it again. I keep getting it over and over and over, and that's why they've been so associated with this show. It's delivered to you every month. It's been very easy, super easy to make it a daily habit for me. And get those travel packs. I'm going to be going on the road soon, and I'll be taking that with me. If you want to take ownership of your health, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. You have to go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. That's drinkag1.com/bigthing. Check it out, baby. I'm so glad we're with Rumpl, man. So glad I keep getting DMs and ats and all that stuff. People telling me, you were right. I love Rumpl. And somebody said, I got one to help out the show, but I didn't realize I'm probably going to buy more because I love them. And if it wasn't for you and your show, it was just trying to help your stupid ass out. I wouldn't have done it. I'm glad that I did, and I'm glad they did. Rumpl's on a mission to introduce the world to better blankets. They're made with durable, sustainable materials, and they're built to last. They recycle over 5 million plastic water bottles a year. They are B Corp certified, climate neutral, and they donate 1% of all their sales to environmental causes. I love these blankets because they don't fall apart. You can take them to a soccer field and sit on them there. You can take them camping, and then they have blankets you can just curl up on your couch and watch movies and TV with. I have a bunch of them that I do all that stuff with. They have over 135 unique designs, and there's a blanket for everybody. Yeah, they're not just for outdoors; they're everywhere. You can do it for everything. It's great. You got an outside area. You want to curl up and just look at the stars. Do that. No, I just want to watch TV. Do that. It's the best. They have cozy hemp fleece, Sherpas, everything. Now, go to rumpl.com/thebigthing. Use that code THEBIGTHING at checkout, and you get 10% off your first order. Rumpl.com/thebigthing. Use that code THEBIGTHING. All right, thank you to AG1 and Rumpl. I've said this many times over, and you guys have been listening because more people keep getting some of these sponsors that we have been telling you about. I am very clear about it all the time. When the people reach out and they go, hey, so-and-so is interested in sponsoring your show, do you think that your audience would like them? If they don't, I have many times over gone, I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it's the right fit. But everything that you're hearing about, that will help out the show. It'll help out yourself. So I put the link in the description. Get yourself something. Let me know what you think. I want to know. All right, let's move on to the next story. All right, let's continue on with the DC here, Roxy. We're going to talk about The Flash, and it's dropping now 14% for only $5.3 million on Tuesday. It's going to hit $75 million after a first full week. That's 7 days in the theaters. That is far from the projected $70 million that they thought they were going to make in 3. They're going to hit $75 million in 7 days in the theaters. The Flash had a pretty dismal opening weekend at the domestic box office, but it didn't suffer as big of a drop as many expected heading into its 5th day in theaters. This is by Mark Cassidy over at Comic Book Movie. We recently learned that The Flash had an even worse opening weekend than initial reports, suggesting that while the movie continues to struggle and heads into its 5th day, it didn't suffer as significant as a Monday-Tuesday drop as people thought. It did 5.3 on Tuesday, which marks a 14% drop. It sits at 66.5, which means 74 to 75 after a full week. A sign that things might not be as bleak as the divisive superhero adventure as we first thought? Not necessarily. The holiday likely played a part in audience attendance this week, but then we'll see if the ticket sales hold up. The Flash could end up being a massive financial loss for Warner Bros. DC Studios, so don't be surprised if the film starts running on fumes very soon. I think he is 100% accurate. I think he is right. I think this movie is going to be unfortunately, because remember we talked about this. I'm not, and correct me if I'm wrong. When we talked about this, I'm not pointing a finger going, you're wrong, because I think that you very well could have been right at the time. But didn't you think that this was going to make like a ton of money?
This is what happened. You asked me and Chris Carr.
Yeah.
How is this movie going to do? Is it going to lose? Break even
Right.
or gain or make? Chris Carr said it's going to lose money, and
She's right.
I was like, "What are you, a fucking idiot?"
Right.
But I remember looking at her thinking, "Lose, maybe break even, but it's definitely going to make money." I thought that. You thought that.
I probably did, yeah.
And I really, really, truly thought. I remember we ranked it too. That Spider-Verse was going to make the most, but that this was going to be this
Close.
Yeah. This is why I'm not a box office girly. I could not have been more wrong about this.
Yeah.
I'm shocked with how poorly this is doing, with how good of a movie I think it is.
Yeah, well, but what's as crazy though is that normally when you look at like the audience and it's like the critics don't know what the hell they were talking about. I think a lot of audience. I was talking about this I think the other day on a live stream. PJ Campbell, who we love, that dude loves every movie I've ever seen him talk about. He loves everything. He didn't like this one. And
a lot of our friends are not liking,
people,
yeah.
a lot of people I saw, and people that I didn't know, and people I've seen in the comments section. I've never.
Hector wasn't hot on it either.
But is Hector not hot on it because of the stuff with Ezra though? Or is
I
he
don't
actually
think
going
so. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, but I'm just curious. I mean, he's a comic book aficionado,
Right.
so he probably has a lot of reasons why. But I'm just curious, and I wonder how much. And the reason I asked that too is because I think there were a lot of people that did feel that way. I mean, I know people who loved it and said it was hard for me to get past some of that stuff. And I was like, and we've had that conversation. We're going to go down it again. But I would just,
No, let's go down it.
No, thanks. But
let's spend the next
let's spend
20
the next
minutes
hour
on it.
talking
Yeah.
about it. But the fact that it's going to be a Black Adam, which made more money, by the way, opening weekend than this movie.
And was still called a flop by people.
Well, they said that it's not even going to break even. That was the whole thing. This movie, in order for it to be a success at this point, has to break even.
Which would mean it would have to make at least 400 mil, right?
Probably. It costs 200, and I don't know that with or without reshoots. Let's say marketing's anywhere between 100 to 200 million. So yeah, anywhere between 350 to 400, it's got to make to break even. With Indiana Jones around the corner and Mission Impossible right after that, nah. Chris Carr was 100% right.
100% right.
Yeah, it's going to be. This movie's going to.
I really remember looking at her like she had 6 heads when she said that.
She's right.
Like, it's not going to make it. It's a Flash movie.
No.
You think the country cares? And I don't think this really had anything to do with people knowing about the Ezra situation.
I think it's a bunch of different things.
Yeah, me too. I think it's a million things combined.
Yeah.
It's some critics being not stoked on it and it not getting the buzz because of possibly that situation and other things. It's the fact that DC is going in a completely new direction and they're not marketing this the way that they would be if we were sticking with the Flash and
Marvel mediocrity.
Yeah,
for sure.
The superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
I think it's so many things, but
But it does show this. It does show how, and I think that this is another thing Chris Carr said when she was on the show, was that it is more about people are not going to just go and watch movies that are just subpar now. We're just not. Because
in the
across
theater. Yeah.
because Across the Spider-Verse was great. And it did great. Now, The Flash, I think, was better than subpar. I really do. I think it was. I like it a lot.
I think it was very good.
But it also shows what a crapshoot the movie theater is these days. Like, we're not too far removed from 2020, 2021, when the height of the pandemic, and everybody was saying the movie theaters are dead. They're dead. It's not going to happen. It's never coming back. It's not bouncing back. I mean, we've had those conversations on SEN millions of times. And then we're like, no, it's coming back, and now everybody's going to see movies again. It's changed. It's changed. Like the things that people like. Look at Sebastian Maniscalco and Burt Kreischer's movies, right?
Yeah.
Like so those, and both buddies of mine, both people that I like very much. So I think it was a colossal error for them to put those movies in the movie theater. It's not.
If it was their choice.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they had the conversation, but that's a 2008, 2010 movie. Then you put that in the theater because that's what people went to see in theaters. Now with Amazon and Netflix, I was at the dentist today, and I'm laying in the chair at the dentist.
How'd it go?
It went great, actually. And like, there's 15 different things coming up, popping up. This coming out, thing about cloning that I didn't know, and this thing coming up on Netflix. I'm like, I don't know what any of this is. And 5 of them were like romantic comedies and comedy movies, and they just people. That's what people are watching those movies now. They're not going out to see them in the theater, and they're being very selective about what superhero movies they're seeing now because Shazam ate shit. Black Adam barely broke even. Flash barely broke even.
Did you see Elemental?
I did not.
Okay.
I heard it's
Elemental
great.
is fucking tanking right
It's
now.
ate shit.
Ate
and
shit.
And I heard it's good.
It is
You love it.
unbelievable. Oh my God. It's my favorite movie of the year.
Really?
Yes. Air was my favorite movie of the year.
This-
And now
really?
now it is
Did
Elemental.
you cry?
At the very end, something happens, and I was like, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
I'm going to take the kids to see it.
I think they're going to love it, but
Yeah.
more so than that, I think you're going to love it. It's so good.
I want to see it. I mean, I do want to see it. But it. Yeah,
I feel like it is for kids, but I think it's more for adults.
I think
in
Pixar.
some ways,
I think Pixar
so
shot
good.
themselves in the foot with back with the Disney Plus day in thing, and I love it because family.
The what
wise,
thing?
When they put it in the theater, put it on Disney Plus at the same time.
Oh.
So I think that people are.
But that's not this, right?
No.
Yeah.
But I think that it
With
had.
Soul
I think it had
and
an
the-
effect. I think it had an effect because a lot of those movies. I mean, and again, same thing. Their movies have just been okay. I didn't mind Lightyear, but my 5-year-old, like, who are you making that movie for?
Right.
My 5-year-old was bored out of her mind watching that movie.
Yeah, Elemental is a little long too. I think it's 2 hours, which
Okay.
kids movie. Little Mermaid
Yeah.
was 2.5 or something, 2:20.
I don't know if I forget if Strange World was Disney or Pixar, but either way, same mouse. Another one, that was one of the biggest losses of the year for them.
What's that other animated movie we were just invited to next week?
Oh yeah, what is that? Kraken or
Kraken?
something.
Yeah.
That's like
Are you gonna
DreamWorks.
go?
So I might see if Vivian wants to go. I might take her with me. But and plus there's really nothing out to talk. I mean, I'm going to see Mission Impossible on Tuesday. Are you? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mission Impossible.
Little Mermaid did well, right?
No, not as well as you think.
I thought
it
Little
did
Mermaid
too.
did well.
I think Little Mermaid, not it.
It made the
because-
studio money, right?
I don't necessarily know if that's true. I thought at one point that it did.
Okay.
But then I think because it did so poorly in like China, let's see. Hold on. It's made about 468 million.
What was its budget?
Let's see. Budget for Little Mermaid 2023 about 250. So
Wow,
it
I thought Little Mermaid did
broke
well.
even. Either broke even or barely broke even. So yeah, Disney hasn't been doing too great this year. So no, that's didn't do very well. Yeah. It's nuts. So and isn't it crazy in general how the summer season is just what's Spider-Verse? What else has been big? Guardians? Guardians did okay. Guardians did good.
I think
Guardians did real
Barbie's
good.
going to be big.
I do too.
I think Oppenheimer will do okay.
Oppenheimer will do good in a way that that's a rated R movie that, I don't know how big the budget. I think it's a risk, but it's a
I think we'll do okay.
yeah, but it's not massive.
Coming out the same weekend
As
of
Barbie.
Barbie is probably problematic for it.
I don't know, different audience.
Yeah,
don't you think?
it is. However, like the people that what are you more excited about?
I don't know if that's I don't know.
You clearly should be more excited about Oppenheimer.
Well, I
but
can't-
you're excited about Barbie.
But wait,
so it's not different
excited-
audiences.
No, but wait, but excited about about Oppenheimer, I am very interested to see. I love Nolan, and I want to see it because I love watching that guy make movies. But like, excited to see. Oh, I can't wait to watch the guy build the bomb. It's like no, it's
Yeah, but just is it really different audiences when Nolan's my favorite director, but Barbie's my most anticipated movie?
yeah.
this
Because
summer?
from where you are, like there's the look at it as the casual movie fan of different audiences. That's the different
I think
audiences.
a lot of people are stoked on or gonna see both.
Oppenheimer is not being as marketed as heavily and does not have the awareness that Barbie does.
No, of course not, but just completely different audiences. I think they're both adult audiences.
I don't know. I think teenage girls are going to see Barbie over Oppenheimer.
Definitely, it's a bigger audience.
And I think Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are going to bring in a very different audience than Cillian Murphy is.
Absolutely, but you don't think there's any crossover?
I think there's some. There's some crossover, but it's two different genres. It's
Of course.
Yeah, so that's what I mean by different audiences. I think that
they're not the exact same.
Yeah.
Of course not, but I think that there's more crossover because of the buzz around Barbie.
Yeah, maybe. I that one I just might have to be on different pages about, but I do. I just think it's a different audience. I think that both have the opportunity to both do well and not take things away from each other, because there's a particular audience that's like, I can't wait to see Barbie. You want to see Oppenheimer? Who? There is that audience.
I want to have a birthday party where everybody has to wear all pink, and they rent out a theater, and everybody comes to see Barbie.
Oh, okay. Why don't you do that with the World Girls?
No, everybody.
I don't think it's gonna work for you.
Oh.
No, it's a good shot though.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you guys? What do you think? Chime in about the. Do you think it's two different audiences? I'm not asking if you're interested in seeing both, just because you want to see Oppenheimer.
No, that is what I'm saying.
No, but
if you're interested in seeing both, you're the audience for both.
No, but it's not necessarily. It's just like if you, it's basically preference, right? Like it's basically preference. If you're going to go to the movies, you're going to take your family to see.
Okay, what's your preference?
If I'm going to take my family to go see a movie,
well, just answer your own question. What's your preference?
Ask me this: am I going by myself, or am I going with my?
Just
with my
what's
family?
your preference?
Am I going?
What's your preference?
Am I going by myself?
I don't know. What do you prefer?
If I'm going by myself, I'm taking Oppenheimer. If I'm going with my family, I'm taking them to see Barbie.
So, would you say you're the audience for both?
My preference for a family: families are going to prefer to see Barbie. People by themselves are probably going to prefer to see Oppenheimer, and I leave it at that. Bye-bye.
You wouldn't come to my birthday party?
What?
You're not going to come to my birthday party?
Are you really going to do that?
I don't know. I reached out to them.
Did you really try that for Warner Brothers?
It's not going very well.
Not going well. Would they tell you what is wrong with you?
Well, especially considering the fact that I can't even get myself invited.
They won't even let you to screenings. They're gonna sponsor your birthday party. It's a bold choice. I like what you're doing there. Before we move on, there's other things to talk about. I also want to know from you guys, by the way, why do you think that the Flash Shade is going to eat the pile of poop that it's going to eat? And even if it breaks even, it's a pile. It's going to be a pile of poop. And it's as far as a loss for them. I mean, that's not.
I don't think there's any way it breaks even now, Kristian.
It's crazy, especially with Indy coming out and Mission Impossible. My family's been gone for the week, and as I told you, night one, the Green Chef boxes show up.
I'm so jealous.
What did I make? Oh, I made these shrimp. I made these shrimp tacos.
Oh, you said you made tacos, and I was like, you don't know how to do that, Kristian.
I followed the instructions, and I sure did, and it was delicious. And the next night, I made a Santa Fe chicken that they sent. And tomorrow, or tonight rather, I'm going to make. They say you make these beef bowls, but there's also a recipe for like these burgers. So I'm probably going to go with the burgers.
Their stuff is fire.
It's really good. Let me tell you about them right now. Green Chef, baby. Green Chef is awesome. It makes eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle. Doesn't matter what your lifestyle is, man. You're just looking to eat more balanced meals. Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preferences. You can fill up with protein packed. It's their newest collection of recipes fit for a high-protein dietary preference. You can choose from 3 weekly menu items, including at least 40 grams of protein per serving. You can choose from 50-plus weekly menu and market items with the option to mix and match meals from different dietary preferences in the same box. If you're craving more servings from a favorite recipe, you can double the portions in your weekly order just one click. It is the #1 meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. Green Chef has options for every single lifestyle. It does not matter. It's great. It's so good, and I love Green Chef because I've been getting, and you can turn different meals. I've been making like this stir fried for a bit since we started with Green Chef, and I lick my chops every time it's coming around. I know, I can make that stir fry. Green Chef, you're reducing your food waste by up to 23% versus grocery shopping. Welcome the spring season with delicious, easy-to-follow recipes that support your healthy lifestyle, and it tastes good too. Fact. Try balanced, crave-worthy meals fit for all dietary needs. Bring more flavor to your table this May with Green Chef's wholesome, elevated recipes. I take the chicken, put it in a stir fry. I love all the different, I mean, it's so good. Their chicken is no joke. You know what I love about Green Chef also is it gives you the ability to choose. You want all chicken, get all chicken. You want all beef, get all beef. Go to greenchef.com/thing60, but use that code thing60 and get 60% off plus free shipping. Again, greenchef.com/thing60. Use that code thing60, get 60% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, man, the #1 meal kit for eating well. Yeah, once again, Green Chef, by the way, yeah, I'm not kidding you. Like I posted it on. Go to the community tab of this channel, and you'll see the pictures that I made of the actual chicken dish, and delish. It's delish, Trish. Let's.
Who's Trish?
I don't know anymore. I dated a girl named Trish once.
You trying to replace me?
Well, not with Trish.
Oh.
She was nice and all.
Trish is sitting in my seat now.
She's gone now. I don't even know where she lives anymore. All right.
Fuck you, Trish.
Yeah, baby. I like it when you get upset. Yeah, Roxy. Roxy got upset. Roxy got upset. Where am I? Oh, fuck, I can't find it yet. Yeah, where are we going? There he is. No, he's not. There I am. Oh, my God. I'm Big Balls, and I'm back with Roxanne Shire, who just said, fuck Trish, Trish the dish. What movie is that from, Roxy? Trish the dish. Come on, you got it. 5, 4.
The Big Thing.
No, there's no movie called Big Thing except you look at what I'm holding. That's a big thing. Yeah, baby. Look at me.
Oh my
big.
God, his balls.
Did you not see it? His? Yeah, that's right. My balls. Look at that. They're hitting the floor. Now you see why they call me what they call me?
They're as big as his knees.
Oh, you ain't the only one to say that to me. You know Aretha Franklin?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Big Balls. Perfect.
Big Balls is claiming he had sex with Aretha Franklin.
I don't know what he's saying.
What movie
mixed
is
up.
that from?
Mallrats.
Oh,
Trish
I
the
could have
Dish.
gotten that then.
Trish the Dish. All right.
I just rewatched Clerks.
First one's great.
I hadn't seen it in so long.
Did you watch the third one?
No.
The third one is really good and emotional.
Yeah, I gotta.
I really liked it. I'm not a
But I
big
heard good
Clerks
things.
2 fan, but Clerks 3 was really, really good. I liked that movie. So it was emotional, man. I actually think that what's his face?
Kevin Smith.
Nope.
Jamie
who plays Dante.
I know.
Shoot.
He's
Oh my god. It's driving me crazy.
he's in Madness too, I think. His name is holy shit. This is
His name is
horrible.
Holy Shit?
No, I'm gonna find it right now.
It's driving me crazy, and I'm gonna be so mad at myself.
I'm
when-
gonna give you a hint so
Talk
that
to
you
me.
can
So
kind of get
be in
to
the
it.
he was gonna be in the Schmodown at one point.
He's great.
I can't, it's driving me crazy.
You're gonna
But-
get. I'm gonna give you a hint.
You can
Ready?
give me a hint. Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. But anyway, he is Dante is probably the best part of the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. You gonna give me a hint?
Yeah, but the hint that I thought of isn't good
It is
to
not
give.
good.
So
Okay, so what is it?
it's Brian
O'Halloran.
O'Halloran. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Brian. Of course it is. Yeah, but he's great in it. Brian O'Halloran is probably the best part of Clerks 3. He's really great.
Cool.
And so much so that I couldn't remember the poor bastard's name, and I love him so much.
Brian O'Halloran.
All right, listen.
Our bad.
Let's move to another story
What do
here.
you wanna talk about?
I want to talk about this Titanic thing.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So last night.
You and everybody on the world, like everyone's talking about this. This is the it story. This is the big thing.
It is. So all right, I know you well enough that once you get locked into the story, you find every little detail out, right?
Okay, so here's what happened. I was at Indy, and I'm sitting down with Dorina, and Greg Alba comes over and was like, "What do you guys think about this Titanic story?" I hadn't heard of it
Oh,
yet.
okay. He brought it up
Because I had been slammed. I was at shoot after shoot for the last 2 days. So I was like, what are you talking about? And then him and Dorina were going back and forth about what had happened, the billionaires in the water, the 5 of them, and that they were warned not to go down there and all of it, which we'll talk about. But I was like, what? So when I got home, I did some Googling, but I haven't done as deep,
Oh, you
pun
haven't as you
intended,
normally do?
pun intended, deep diving, as I haven't done as deep of a dive as I would like to.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, it was that it seems like it's set up from a damn movie, right? Like they
Right.
have, except at one point, if if all goes well and they get rescued, hopefully, Jason Statham would play the guy going to rescue them underneath the water. But
Do you think that's what's going to happen?
No, I don't.
It doesn't seem
I don't.
like-
I don't. Unfortunately, because
I mean, it's going to be a movie regardless, but
yeah, I know, but unfortunately, I don't. I hope it has a happy ending. It just from
Doesn't feel like it.
at this point. I mean, there was 11 hours left to air, like,
Yeah.
It was. I think it was 8 hours ago. So I don't know what it is, and I don't know if they. I mean, I haven't seen any updates yet. And by the time we put this out,
they're going to know more.
We'll have more information, but or they won't because they can't find. So basically, what they did, the expedition that they do these things where they go to try to find a look at the Titanic, and people they spend like $250,000 to go in to spend it to go.
And these are billionaires,
yeah, of course.
yeah.
And they go to look at and there was like a kid on this one, and the owner of the company that runs these expeditions was in this thing also, and they're going down to find it, and I don't know how they went off course though. So they went off course or something.
Well, they were warned before they went down. This sub is not ready.
Mm.
There's a couple of issues, and they
said, "Fuck it, let's
do it." So I think that's how it went off course because I think that wasn't
ready.
It wasn't ready. Yeah. So now have you heard about the banging noises? That was the most recent.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. I mean, to be fair, I saw a little bit of it. I spent about 10 minutes on it, and then the news sensationalizes everything, right? So
Totally.
and the news was spending like. That's why I watch Lester Holt. I'm an 80-year-old man. I watch Lester Holt because Lester Holt he gives you the information. He spends 10 minutes on it. He moves on to the next story. But there's some people like my mom when people just want to lock into the story, and so other news stories will spend like an hour just talking
And people
about
don't always tune into the news at the top of the hour, obviously.
Right, that's
so
true.
They just keep repeating it.
That's
but
true.
I hear you that sometimes you're watching something and you're like, I get it. I
Right,
get
there
it.
are other
You're saying the same
stories
thing
to
over
say,
and over.
Not that this story isn't important, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know what I missed was remember when John Krasinski was doing the
Yeah.
good news?
Yeah.
Like, can we
Yeah,
get that?
get that back, I know.
Because
Yeah.
everything sucks. But apparently there's a sound, this banging sound that they're hearing under the water.
Oh, so they're probably like banging
So
on it.
now their search expands exponentially as more sounds are being heard. This article The Independent did, missing Titanic sub search widens as mystery banging sound reports for the second day. Like, just imagine.
It's pretty crazy.
Like, we don't know. We almost know as little about the ocean as we do about space.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because it's just so vast.
Yeah.
And when you're down there, like, we can't find you.
Where was this? I don't know if it was what the hell was it? Was it a movie? I don't know what the hell it was.
With the plane that disappeared?
No, but it was just like, but going off of what you just said with how crazy the ocean is. Like you can land on just like a thing of sand and then it just goes down and down, and like cities and shit. Like you don't know what the hell's down there.
No idea.
I always had like this idea, that I'd love to like the water. Like if the aliens one day when they do come in, they can just pick up the water for a second and freeze it, so we can see all the shit that's down there.
Completely. Like you see
Gazillions
stuff
of dollars.
every time, even in movies that we've seen recently or whatever. I've just thought about how deep the ocean is,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
wishing that we could build a wall. And then like lift out parts of the water into
Yeah.
other parts just to look at every patch of the
Right.
ocean, because I'm so curious what is down there and how long the world has been
It's been
around
like
for.
that.
I know what it was.
Oh.
I was being
You're being
vague.
But yeah,
There's no spoilers, but-
There's a water scene. I mean, that doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's not.
Yes,
there's
Kristian,
a
very
water.
good.
There's a water scene, and is that you can? I mean, that's not. I mean, I think it's in the trailer. You see water,
But I
whatever.
think about it all the time in everything that I'm watching, like with all the animals that are down there, all the species that we don't even know exist,
Right.
all the cities, everything.
Do you
Like,
think octopus? Do you think they're aliens?
I don't.
That was the rumor.
I do think that there are aliens, but I don't think that they're the octopus.
Octopus looks like a fucking alien, though.
Yeah, it does. Based on nothing other than
Or
what we think
the-
aliens look like.
Or the craziest thing, Roxy,
What?
they're not the aliens, and we are.
Yeah.
Also a theory. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
And they're looking at us like, get out.
Get out of here! You guys have
Get out.
ruined this planet.
Yeah, where we come from.
Yeah, you've ruined it, and
Mm.
because the octopus are even more upset. Do you know why? They're massive Yellowstone fans, and Kevin Costner is no longer on that show.
So tell me what's up.
All right, let me tell you. There's been drama going on this show for months, and then it was finally revealed. Everybody knew Kevin Costner was going to be Gonski. This was like,
No, we didn't know he was going to be
a lot
gone.
of
There was
people-
the rumors.
yeah, but people were, by the time he was getting closer and closer, like, it's over. He's gone. And then And then this is like this. Just to put this into perspective, this is kind of like Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini leaving The Sopranos in the height of The Sopranos. In February came reports of alleged turmoil between Kevin Costner and Taylor Sheridan over the actor's filming commitments to the remaining episodes of the current 5th season. 3 months later, it was announced that Costner would not be returning to the show after the current 5th season ends. At the time, it was also reported that there were still no updates on whether the cast and crew was going to return to Montana to finish shooting the remaining episodes. Costner himself remains busy with his multi-film Civil War saga Horizon. In addition, a once-rumored spin-off series starring Matthew McConaughey was also announced as officially moving forward at Paramount Network. Today, Sheridan has spoken with The Hollywood Reporter. He confirms that Costner reportedly asked for fewer days of last season to concentrate on his own Western passion project. He said, "My last conversation with Kevin was that he had this passion project he wanted to direct. He and the network were arguing about when he could be done with Yellowstone, and I said we certainly could work a schedule toward it, his preferred exit date, which we did. Costner opted to film his scenes early on while scripts were being written, but tensions rose due to Costner's schedule." Sheridan says the following, "My opinion of Kevin as an actor hasn't altered. His creation of John Dutton is symbolic and powerful. I've never had an issue with Kevin that he and I couldn't work out on the phone. But once lawyers got involved, then people don't get to talk to each other and start saying things that aren't true and attempt to shift blame based on how the press or public seem to be reacting. He took a lot of this on the chin, and I don't think that anyone deserves it. His movie seems to be a great priority to him, and he wants to shift focus. I hope that the movie is worth it, and I sure hope that the movie is worth it and that it's a good one. I'm disappointed. It truncates the closure of this character. It doesn't alter it, but it truncates it. With the studio now focused on the McConaughey-led follow-up series, Sheridan says he's optimistic about McConaughey getting on board and dubbing him a natural fit. I think this is the reason why Taylor Sheridan is as successful as he is. I think this is a great answer. What else can you say at this point? He's like, look, sucks. I've always been able to talk to him man to man. Lawyers got involved. He got some shit for it. He wants to do his movie. Let him do his movie. Okay, good luck. I hope so. And it sucks. And it's not how I wanted to end the character. That's the type of answers I've always been looking for executives and creators and stuff too. He's like, I mean, it's as honest as it gets. He's like, it sucks. What do you want him to do? Just, yeah, that guy's a scumbag, man. Fuck this. What are you gonna get? What are you gonna accomplish from that?
Yeah, completely. I am a diehard Yellowstone fan.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted you to talk about it.
This is such a bummer.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I agree with you that he gave the best answer he possibly could give. And I also don't think that it's wrong that Kevin Costner, especially at the point that he is in his career, wants to do his own movies and wants shorter filming schedule or whatever it is. And I'm sure that they really did try to figure out a way to make it all work, and it just didn't happen for one reason or another.
TV's a grind, man.
Totally. But for the fan, especially TV that's not shot here and, you know, demanding like this show is, for the fans, this fucking sucks. This sucks. Like, I love this show like you just talked about. This is Walter White leaving Breaking Bad. This is Tony Soprano leaving The Sopranos. This is right now, to me, Yellowstone is Succession of the Wild Wild West. But the reason that it's different is that there is one lead, and it is Kevin Costner. It is a family show, yes, but he is the patriarch of the family. He's the guy.
Well, so I have not. I think I watched like 3 episodes, loved it. But I've watched 1883 and 1923 all the way through because they're only like one season apiece so far. And I love 1883. I saw today they were putting it on, they're doing something else with it. And they're putting on like, I thought they were announcing like a second season or something, but it doesn't really make sense considering, you know, everything that happens. Yeah. But what I ask you as someone who's, are you all caught up?
No, I saw 19 and I haven't seen 18. On Yellowstone, I'm all caught up. Yeah.
That's what I mean, on Yellowstone. So you're all caught up on Yellowstone. So does it, I mean, without spoiling anything, do they close up his arc, or do they do something along the lines where it's like, don't tell me how, but it's just such a weird question because. No, I
have no idea what they're going to do. No.
They haven't even shot it. They don't even.
From what I've seen.
He's still around at this point. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what their plan is here.
Okay. Because it's too confusing where they are in the story.
They're going to have, when he says it doesn't change it, it just truncates it. I mean, I hear what he's saying, but I don't know what that possibly could mean.
So how many seasons are there right now?
5.
Okay, so they finished season 5. So basically, is this what it is basically, that season 5 ended and now they don't have him for 6?
I guess.
Oh, that's what it is.
I guess
Okay.
that's what he's saying.
Okay. So they need it. So they ended 5.
Let
was
me
kind
make
of-
sure that that's
yeah.
accurate.
But I'm just trying to figure out. So they ended 5. Who basically, as a fan, you're going, "Oh, I wonder what's going to happen next." And the answer is like, "Well, they're just going to explain."
And they thought they were going to have him.
Right.
Is-
So they wrote as if they were going to have him.
To me,
Now, is there any way that because the McConaughey thing is, that's a good replacement. But is there any way they don't replace him as if like it's not a recast? It's just another character.
oh, okay, so this is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so Yellowstone, maybe what they're doing. So the last episode of Yellowstone we saw was in January 2023, and it was season 5, episode 8.
Okay.
You know how Breaking Bad did that part A and part B
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
So it looks like they're calling episode 9, whenever it comes out, still season 5.
Okay.
So maybe there's still a back half of this season that's taking place
So we don't
later
really
this
know.
year that
It's interesting.
does make it work. Because for where we left off, he's just a character on the show.
Right.
So,
Doesn't
like,
seem like there's any ending in sight
I mean,
with him.
he's not always been in the best of health,
Right.
but like
That's probably what they're going to do.
yeah, he's got a very stressful job and he's
Right.
had some
'Cause it doesn't
issues.
seem like there's any chance in hell that he can ever come back. So it's interesting. It's crazy. I wonder if you guys are, if you're fans out there, what do you think about this? Do you think this was a mistake? Should they try to get him back at all costs, or is like no, it was just too toxic at this point?
I kind of think they should close out the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what they shot for the back half, but
It makes me not want to watch Yellowstone now, though. To be honest.
well, we'll see what they do. Because
Yeah.
now that I know, I thought that meant we were never seeing him again. Now it looks like we have few episodes with him, so we'll see what they do.
I stick with 1923 because I'll tell you, what a year for Harrison Ford. What a year. Harrison Ford and then the other dude from, oh my God, from Air. And who's he plays the agent.
Yeah, I know. You're
And
talking
he was in Boogeyman. and he
the
was-
brown hair, dark
yeah,
brown hair. He's
yeah,
great.
and he was something else, too.
David Michael Bryant,
Something like that. David Michael Frank.
Mo Ro-
yeah.
what the fuck's his name?
But
I'll
either
find
way, like you're not gonna. This is not the show you come to for names.
it. I mean, usually
Brian
I'm
O'Halloran.
decent at it, but not today. Apparently,
not
Chris
today.
Messina. Jesus Christ!
Not even close. Not even
Wow,
close.
and I knew
think he played. I
that,
think he played a
too.
David in something else.
I knew it was Chris Messina
Let,
too. That
let
was
me
wild.
see. I want to see if there's anything else that I'm missing out here on story wise. Hold on. Let's go with TV, man. Roxy Stryer, what do you got first?
Okay, so I didn't do that many this week. The
Okay.
reason being that Black Mirror dropped.
Oh yeah.
And I watched all 5 of the new Black Mirror episodes, and they're all like mini movies. Have
Okay.
you ever seen Black Mirror?
No,
Do you know the
it's
premise of this show?
Not really.
Okay, so every episode completely different cast, completely
Like
different
Twilight Zone?
premise, completely different. Yeah, but like even more different because they're like different. No, yeah, like Twilight Zone kind
Okay.
of. It's just, but each one is. Some of them are like longer or shorter.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they just have creative freedom to do whatever the heck they want.
Different story
on the
every
show.
week, yeah.
So this is one of my favorite shows, and I actually think
People
you would
love
love
it.
it too because the sci-fi elements of it that ask the questions of like, where do we go when we're gone? What does technology doing for people?
cool.
They all have these tech angles to them
Didn't
too.
Bryce Dallas Howard do one of those
Yeah.
also? I heard it was pretty good.
So many massive
Yeah.
stars. I mean, the people that they got for these most recent 5 episodes is just huge A-list celebrities. Like the way that Dave had, I can't spoil for you. Who came, never mind, I won't tell
Yeah.
you who came on that show. But just they have huge stars. The first episode stars Salma Hayek. It's like
Yeah, I saw the picture.
they do an amazing job with it. And I thought that these 5 were as strong. Every time I'm like, are they going to botch this? And every time they find an angle where I'm like, that is a really interesting question that you're answering. That's a
How many
really
seasons?
cool premise. I don't know. Because they drop them at like 4 episodes at a time. So
Okay.
I don't even know if
Doesn't
they,
matter. You don't have to look it up.
yeah,
I
they
think
call
it's
them
fine.
seasons, but these were really, really good. They don't leave you feeling good ever, though. I
Yeah.
will say that. Like I'm so creeped out by this show
Yeah.
and the possibilities of what AI does, technology does, how it affects different people. That I love this show. And I remember the creators talking about this a while ago. Like they don't know if right now is the right time period for it, almost because it's unnerving.
home, yeah.
It's when you're watching this stuff. It can be very freaky.
Yeah.
It's very freaky,
Yeah.
the things that are happening on the show. So I definitely, if you're a Black Mirror fan, I think you're going to love this as much as you've loved a lot of them.
Okay.
And it's still super duper worth your time. But also, I wouldn't watch it at bedtime. It's like it's just it's a lot. I started Secret Invasion, which
Oh, yeah.
so I watched the first 2
Please.
episodes. You watched this as well?
Okay.
Did you?
I watched the first 2.
Okay, cool. I think they did. I think the show is very good. I think it's well done. I don't know whether I'm just experiencing fatigue in the genre or what, but it's a really serious show, and I kind of am not in the mood for the seriousness of this. Like,
It seems like some people are feeling that way, right? This is when I had put my first 2 non-spoiler reviews. I like that.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
like the spy thriller side of it, but I can understand that because it's a slower burn. It to me reminds me of kind of this kind of slow burn than Andor. I think the writing's better in Andor, but I still think it's got that kind of feel.
but the end of the first episode, Christian,
Yeah,
which I think people can have seen while,
Yeah.
which I won't spoil, but like, is
Holy
that
shit.
real?
I think so. Seems like it.
Yeah, that's crazy then. I mean,
Yeah. Shocking.
what they're continuing to do with their shows is say, you have to watch these.
Yeah.
You have to watch it.
Yeah.
If you are a Marvel person,
It all connects.
and you want to understand what's
Yeah.
happening, you have to watch the show.
Right.
And when we saw that the pilot, I was like, oh, okay, so they're making this a must-watch TV show.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So must-watch. And then
Last one?
the last one, I'm only 2 episodes deep, but I wanted to talk about it, and then I'll talk about it next week because I'll be finished with
Yeah.
it. Bupkis. This is
Which one is that?
This
Oh,
is the
that's
Pete
Pete Davidson.
Davidson.
I started it.
okay. You started this?
Yeah, I
Did you
did.
watch the pilot?
I started the first 10 minutes and I bailed.
So did you watch in the first couple of minutes
Yeah.
Pete Davidson
When-
come on his mom?
Yeah, that's why I bailed.
Okay. I think it's hysterical that people talk about The Idol like it's like this like raunchy breaking the internet whatever thing when there's shows like Bupkis where in the first minute of a show Pete Davidson is coming on his mom's chest. That's legitimately what happens. It's a VR situation, but
It's like it's the reaction of what happens when it happens that I was like, oh, I get the tone, but it's not for me.
totally. So the first episode, that happens, and then there's like a situation where he
Has
like
Pesci in it.
yeah, he's trying to like get somebody to have sex with somebody else by like jumping on a bed. It's a whole story. The pilot was a lot. I love Pete Davidson, but it was a lot, and it was very Pete Davidson. If you watch his stand-up and you don't like his stand-up, it's very likely you're not going to like this show. But the second episode is all about young Pete Davidson's dad dying in 9/11.
Yeah.
And him the next week going to his aunt's wedding and like how people talk to him and like what it's like now to not whatever it was. And I was like, wow, this second episode is very good.
Is it? Okay.
So I don't know that it's up your alley, and I'll report back next week, but it is taking a lot of big swings.
I do like him though.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the opening to me, and I like Edie Falco, and I love Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
So that's why I watched it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, this could be the show for me. And that opening bit, I was like, oh,
It tries. Sometimes the show is trying a little too hard.
Yeah.
It's not as natural as Dave or Curb Your Enthusiasm or Rami or some of
Shrinking.
these other shows. Well, the ones I just named though are like comedians about themselves.
Oh, I see.
You know what
Okay.
I mean?
Okay.
This is, and they say it's not fully about him, but like it's clear.
Right.
You know, the character's called
Right.
Pete. So
Well, but that opening scene again, it's like that's again why I watched it. I'm like going, okay, this is going to be about his life and kind of the funny kind of moments about it and how that plays in. And then when that thing happened with the VR, I'm like, because the way that she reacts,
it's a lot.
but the way
And
she
it's
reacts, I'm
disgusting.
like, yeah, but the way she reacts, yeah, exactly. And the way,
But she reacts like, anyway, what's for dinner? And it's
yeah,
like, what?
and anytime it's like that if that happened to anybody, like, oh, you go to therapy.
Yeah.
It's like it was like a bit.
Yeah, totally.
And I was like,
I think for
I'm
you
out.
guys at home, either watch it all with me this week, and next week we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Or if you're not sure about it, wait till next week, and then I'll report back at the end of the season.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, there you go. Have you watched any of those shows? Do you want to watch any of those shows? What do you think the most of everything we talked about here today? What stood out?
What was your favorite Black Mirror episode? I want to know
Oh,
which
yeah.
one people are liking best of this
Please,
season.
should I watch it? What do you think? All right. For Roxy Stryer, you catch her on the World Girls. Check her out at Roxy Stryer. Get those tickets, man. You only have one more day. Tomorrow, we're going to be in New York. So get the tickets. thechristianharloff.com. Get those live stream tickets. It'll help out the show. It'll help you out. You get to see it. You get to watch it. You get to watch the stand-up. You get to watch all of it. Okay. And then, again, Shoes and Beef coming in hot July 1st. You can get that at the website. Katie Sackhoff Show. You can go to her YouTube channel. Katie Sackhoff. Get the podcast dropping the first episode next week. All right, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate you. And we'll see you on the flip side. Peace.